The Disney company in the early 90s, 20 years earlier, were giving benefits to partners of their gay employees. So once again, we've got the free market looking out for the individuals because they have to make a profit. They want to hire the best employees, so they've got to basically put in, bow to peer pressure.
So we focused obviously more on Trump because he's the president and policies of the conservatives. What do you make about what's going on with the Democrats right now and what seems to be a war between the younger progressive lefties versus a little bit, I guess, of what's left of the old guard? There ain't much left, and I think it's sort of summed up by Biden. What do you make about what's going on there?
Well, but the old guard is still strong. And the thing that I've been pointing out is how they muzzled Tulsi Gabbard, how they unfairly kept her out of the debates.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what's such a shame is that the Democratic Party used to be the party of peace. They used to be the anti-war party. And they've got a great anti-war candidate, Tulsi Gabbard. By the way, let me qualify that and say great on that position. I mean, I realize, yes, she's socialist on the economic issues, and that's why I wouldn't vote for her. That's why I'm running for president. Excuse me. But on the war issues, she's great. And yet the government, the Democratic establishment kept her out of the debates because they wanted to quiet her down. So yeah, the old guard, there may not be many of them left, but they sure are powerful. And that's really a shame. And that brings me, by the way, just one other quick point is, I talk about how the Democratic Party used to be the anti-war party. When I first joined the movement and people asked me what a libertarian was, what I would say is, well, we take the best of both sides. We take the best parts about the right, about the Republicans, we believe in economic freedoms, and we take the best about the left, that we're anti-war, that we believe in individual liberty. And now I can't say that anymore because Democrats aren't acting like Democrats and Republicans aren't acting like Republicans. And maybe it was coincidence that they even agreed with us. And young people are shocked when I tell them that as recently as 2012, Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton both were against gay marriage. Meanwhile, the Libertarian Party was for individual rights. They were advocating gay marriage in 1972. I hate to say advocating the rights, not that everybody should do it, but advocating the opposite. Whereas Democrats,
that's a whole different, that sounds far more authoritarian if you were.
Yeah. The people at the top, of the Democratic Party, they're saying gay marriage should be illegal. And if you don't mind, let me bring in one other free market item here. The Disney company in the early 90s, 20 years earlier, were giving benefits to partners of their gay employees. So once again, we've got the free market looking out for the individuals because they have to make a profit. They want to hire the best employees, so they've got to basically put in, bow to peer pressure. So, and going back to racist and all those laws, again, the free market can do such a much better job than the government at anything.
What do you make about what's going on with Biden? Do you think something's wrong there?
Well, I'm not a clinical psychologist, but even if I were, I think there's some law that would keep me from diagnosing him. But my answer is, it doesn't, what concerns me is what he was saying 10, 20 years ago. I mean, what he was saying 10, 20 years ago as a younger man, that made absolutely no sense. What worries me is, how he thought the crime bill was such a good thing to pass in the 90s. So people are saying, well, maybe he's not all with it now. I would suggest he wasn't with it 20 or 30 years ago.
All right, I got one more for you. I'm gonna toss you a softball here and just tell you that as I think I have a lot of disaffected liberals that watch this show. I have a lot of what I would call sort of new school conservatives and even old school conservatives. But I would say generally at this point, my audience leans probably center right. Jo Jorgensen, make your pitch for why they should vote for you on November 4th.
I would say I understand why you voted for Trump to the conservatives in 2016. He came in as an outsider. He said he was going to cut the budget. He was going to cut spending. He said he was a businessman who knew how to get things done and he would bring the troops home. But he didn't do any of that. And I would say to the Democrats, again, the Democratic Party has traditionally been the party of peace. They shut down Tulsi Gabbard. They shut down Bernie Sanders. Basically, you've got a very slick party machine going on that gave you Joe Biden, even though you don't want him. If you really want an outsider, then please check me out and go to jo20.com. That's jo20.com. And I think you'll see that we are really what you believe in. We are the ones giving you what you want. And I'm so excited to announce that something like 75% of our volunteers are from outside the party because they realize that they're just not, that the two old parties just aren't giving them what they want.
All right. I thank you for your time. I'm glad we were finally able to do this. And good luck the rest of the way.
Well, can I ask you one quick question?
Sure.
So you voted for Gary Johnson. Have I won your vote?
That's good. That's good, Joe. Listen, I am so frustrated by what is happening with the left and the destruction of our institutions, academic, media institutions, everything else. And at this point, I see Trump as the bulwark against that. The ideas that you've laid out here for the little marginal differences we have, I think are the right ideas. My audience knows that. I say that all the time. I don't think this time that I can vote for a third party, to be totally honest. And I get you hear a lot of that. And I think you can probably hear it in my voice that it's not the way I sort of want to go in a certain regard. But I think Trump has done enough on the big things that I care about. But I'll be happy to discuss this with you privately, maybe the day before the election. How about that?
Well, can I make one last plea to your viewers?
Yeah.
Which is, many of you live in a solidly red state like I do. We were one of only 6 states to carry Bob Dole. Your state's going to carry Donald Trump anyway. The red states are going to give Donald Trump the Electoral College votes. If you want to send a message to Trump that you don't like that he's gotten you bigger government, vote for me because Trump's going to get the electoral votes anyway. If you live in a solidly blue state like California, Joe Biden's going to get it. If you're not happy with what your candidate is doing, then vote for me because in the solid red and solid blue states, it's not going to make much of a difference. So let's send some kind of message.
You know what, Joe? That is totally in line with what I was saying 4 years ago. And that's why I was fighting for Gary Johnson to get into the debates, because my thought was, okay, if the Libertarian isn't going to win, let's just, if that's just not realistic at the moment, I'm talking 4 years ago, then at least let's get these ideas out there. It starts with ideas. And if that's a policy or if that's an idea that can get you to seed some of these good ideas out there, ideologically, I'm totally with you.
Okay. Well, thanks so much. I hope to be on your show again. Hint, hint.
Yeah, I enjoyed it and good luck. And we'll talk again. Thanks.
Thanks so much. Had a great time.
If you're looking for more honest and thoughtful conversations about politics instead of nonstop yelling, check out our politics playlist. And if you want to watch full interviews on a variety of topics, watch our full episode playlist all right over here. And to get notified of all future videos, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell.